Hey everybody, welcome to A Cast of the Past watches the Ubisoft Forward 2020 presentation. This is what the company is doing in place of a proper E3 event this year. While I'm doing some initially setup during this pre-show, I can only join you today for this little event, but I wanted to throw out some predictions Josh had. We'll see throughout the show if they come true. So Josh is hoping for a new Splinter Cell game. He's hoping for more from the world of Rayman, hopefully something as a follow-up to Rayman Legends, which we covered on the show. And he's also looking forward to the fact that this presentation is mostly just going to entail a game we already knew about, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, a game that's already been leaked, Far Cry 6, and another year in which Beyond Good and Evil is not actually set for release. So those are Josh's expectations for today. I'm going in pretty blind, but I'd like to see what happens. So while I get set up, please be patient. Thank you for joining us. It's going to be a great show. Hey everybody, if you're tuning in, welcome. I am Tom, co-host of A Cast of the Past, the time-traveling video game history podcast where best friends get together to talk about old games in a new light. I am sitting pretty, getting ready to begin Ubisoft Forward 2020, and I am already forgetting the most important thing. We have determined on the podcast that Ubisoft is actually properly pronounced UBISOFT. So, I am actually really interested to hear what games UBISOFT is going to be releasing in 2020. Something I think that's of important note is that Ubisoft announced before on Twitter, like social media, that they are not going to address any of the current employment changes that have happened in the last week, 2 weeks, month, regarding, you know, employees who have resigned or been ousted due to abuses of power in the Ubisoft corporate system. And it is obviously a very unfortunate tragedy to hear that toxic workplace environments are continuing, but we, or I at least myself personally, commend anyone who had the courage to come forward, which is a very difficult thing to do when you work in such a strict corporate landscape, and, you know, speak up for yourself and speak out against anyone who is using sexual or power-based advances to, you know, force underlings or subordinates into uncomfortable positions. It's never right, and I'm glad to see that change has been effected at Ubisoft. And unfortunately, they're not going to address it today. I'm sure they feel like they're already in enough of a PR nightmare and they probably didn't want to delay this. But let's see if what they're going to put out. Yes, Ubisoft, thank you. Lami Tudwig. The iconic company that we all know is pronounced Ubisoft. And we're about to explore their worlds, meet the devs, see the games. This would have been, I imagine, during an E3 presentation. And as you know, companies have been spreading their E3 delights out over these pre-recorded presentations. Here we go. Alright, we're jumping into Watch Dogs right off the bat. Watch Dogs Legion. Let's see what we've got.
A London town. A modern metropolis. Built on history and prosperity. Only took 12,000 years to build it up. And one night to tear it all down.
Oh my god. Listen up. Get all your units to move in and lock down the city.
Alright, so I'm just gonna have a conversation real quick. I don't, Lami, if you're still there, and anyone else who's watching. Is anybody in the chat a fan of the Watch Dogs series beginning to end? I am aware and have experienced most of Watch Dogs 1, skipped Watch Dogs 2 because I was a little just personally underwhelmed by Watch Dogs 1. And this one, I'm just kind of really surprised at the all-out degree of politicizing that they're going into with this. And I'm not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with that. You can create some great art, film, music, television, otherwise, by taking, you know, strong political stances. But I just felt with how clunky and goofy the character... There we go. Never played him, so you're not too familiar either. I just remember how, like, clunky and edgelord, you know, grim dark the main character of the first Watch Dogs was. And I don't know, it's just when you're approaching certain topics, I'd like you to approach them with, like, the most clear-eyed vision and just, like, sharpest idea possible.
got to keep tracks on my merchandise, don't I? You made me a slave.
I don't know. This is just me talking about my personal taste in things, but...
Any of the brave Londoners you see walking the streets can be recruited into your team.
Okay, how?
Like him. Her. Or even her.
Yes, we keep emphasizing the grandma because it's very funny.
Can become your next secret weapon. Like everyone in DedSec, Arthur can hack pretty much whatever. But as a construction worker, he has a particular set of tools that make him
So, we're just going with the logic that you can recruit anybody off the street, any regular Joe of any background, and instantly they're going to be made into, like, the perfect hacker. Okay. Fine, whatever. Yeah, sure, yeah. Just like an instant hacking program.
regular old gun when you have a bloody nail gun.
It's real curious, Lamy Tudwig in the chat asking how many jobs there will be. You know, construction worker, I guess whatever the grandma character they keep advertising does. Business characters, there was a dude in a suit. What does he do? Does he hack ATMs or something? Like, what does he do?
But it'll get you inside restricted Albion areas.
Alright, so if you recruit actual, like, law enforcement officials and stuff,
However,
the
do anything
bonus is that...
suspicious and she'll probably wind up with a bullet in the back of her head.
Seems incredibly extreme that they don't even get brought in for questioning first.
I can get the defense minister.
Not everyone in London is a legendary assassin or a super spy, but everyone can be a hero.
Okay, sure, but tell us how. That's kind of more of the gimmick I'm interested in than these professional characters. You know, you highlight that NPCs can be recruited even if they're basic Joe Schmoes. But you didn't highlight any of those. That's what I was interested in. And as Lamy said in the chat, like, how will more common people's traits play into this? Alright, we saw a construction worker, but that's it. Like, how is the cashier at a gas station or the waiter at a restaurant, what are they gonna do? Brawlhalla, moving on to the next game in this presentation.
Now some news for Brawlhalla fans. In just a few weeks, you'll be able to battle it out with your favorite legends on iOS and Android devices.
Brawlhalla coming to iOS and Android devices. Very interesting. Alright, so look out for that. August 6th. Launches on mobile. Register now, and you can get looks like kind of like a doggo bear.
And now,
It's been a great 7 months for who? I don't know about you, but the last 7 months have been absolute nightmare. But hey, I'm glad your mobile game's been doing great. I would do anything to bleach the last 7 months out of my brain.
Get back in your cell.
There, is that him? Is that the man himself? Fishy Sam Fisher? Or is that just someone else wearing the iconic goggles?
Don't make me regret this.
Tom Clancy's Elite Squad coming soon. Okay. Pre-order on Google Play, so that does look like it's going to be a mobile title. I'm really curious to see Josh's thoughts about that. I know he's a big Tom Clancy Splinter Cell fan.
Let me get you all up to speed, okay? About 30 years ago, everything that we feared about our future started to come true. We made some good decisions. We made some bad decisions. Actually, we made a lot of bad decisions. So, here we are.
Is
In hyperspace,
this just Ready Player One?
is Crown Rush. This is where anyone can become someone.
So we've got ourselves a battle royale, but even though it's about collecting equipment throughout, there are moments with these hacks, where, as I'm kind of interpreting it, you can turn yourself into a hero-esque character, similar to Apex and Overwatch. So, like, you start as a regular Joe, but throughout the gameplay, you can turn yourself into someone a bit better. Interesting case of, like, how balance is really just, like, down to luck of the draw. Well, I gotta say, this does look pretty unique in terms of the Battle Royale scale of games that we're living in. There's just seems to be being more and more multiplayer focused, more wide-scale teams versus teams. So this looks pretty, you know, It looks like it's got a confident sense of style, new hacks, free battle pass. Listen to me, sounding like a dope. Hyperscape. All right. Well, that's cool. Free 30-tier battle. Open beta July 13th. Huh. So we're detailing right now the smart delivery platform across Xbox consoles, wherein whatever version of a game you buy, if the developer supports it, when you pop it in to a console, the console will run that version's best possible, output. If you pop Assassin's Creed Valhalla into your Xbox Series X, it'll go all out on the Series X gameplay, the Series X graphic output rendering, all that good stuff. If you throw it into a regular Xbox One or an Xbox One X, you're going to get the top horsepower of what that can do, but it's just specifically what that can do. So smart delivery, I hope that means that, like, you buy one disc and it's good throughout, and that's what it means. Because with the rumored price hikes in next generation consoles that they've been discussing, NBA 2K 21, it's apparently going to cost $70 a pop. So I'll just buy the $60 Xbox One gen version of certain games, and ideally get the best out of it on a Series X.
It is a personal adventure, it is the story of Eivor, a Viking chieftain. Eivor is either a male or a female. You decide when you start the game.
Back to choosing which gender you would like to play. I hope that it does not meet the same degree of controversy that Assassin's Creed Odyssey brought up, where they basically gave you the ability to, play whatever gender you want and seek out whatever type of romantic relationships you want, regardless of what your partner is. But then the DLCs they released kind of strictly funneled the character down to traditional, mom and pop nuclear family marriage, and that did upset a lot of fans who felt like their adventure experience was not the same. So I feel like you have to, if you're going to give characters customization options, you also have to give them story options that honor that customization. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell us it's your adventure, you play how you want, but also you have to have the ending that we dictate. Little disingenuous in my opinion.
Weapons are available to dual wield, including 2 shields.
Dual wielding weapon customization. Up to and including 2 shields. That sounds pretty interesting. I wonder, I might try to go through the whole game like that. Okay, so now we're going to look into stealth gameplay, which is, a staple of the Assassin's Creed. I wonder how many times you're going to have to follow people through crowds.
You may need to outsmart your enemies, avoiding unwanted attention in towns and bustling cities.
Wow, great. More following mechanics shown right off in this trailer. Kind of reminds me of Middle-earth Shadow of War style fortress attacks, where you've got to get over their defenses, maybe categorically go point by point and weaken the defenses, and then take the main keep. That'd be pretty interesting.
Inspired by Norse myths and England's pagan roots.
Diving into Norse and pagan supernatural characteristics. I like that. So we're pumping all this up, but how much crap are we going to have to do outside of the, the Animus? How much time are we going to have to spend walking around some kind of future office space and not having Viking fun? That's something that kind of turned me away from this franchise, is all the future, present day stuff. I just want the past adventures. And I don't know if Odyssey and Origins did that. If it did, great. Oh, it comes out on my birthday. Sweet. But yeah, overall, I'd like to only have awesome Viking gameplay and nothing else interfering. All your Far Cry staples are here. Exoticism, foreign lands, evil authoritarian antagonists, and I assume... Oh, there you go. Played by, of course, the biggest actors they could get, either well-known character actors or bigger movie, TV personalities. Wow, the CG rendering here. On Giancarlo, he looks incredible. So that looked a lot more intriguing narrative-wise. Just for comparison's sake, to say like Watch Dogs Legion, personally, I'm really into that. And man, if you're gonna get somebody to harp on deep, nuanced political takes, even though he's the bad guy, I assume, of the game. So, like, not that we're supposed to believe and accept what he's saying, but, you get somebody who can monologue the way Giancarlo Esposito did to really nail that home. So, the cyber chaos of Ready Player One. So, Ubisoft Forward is promising to come back at some point in the year in order to give us more. And I think that's pretty interesting. They're taking kind of the Nintendo Direct route, where they're just going to be giving you frequent updates throughout the year instead of just front-loading everything into one summertime reveal. This will probably be, I imagine, at the dawn of the holiday shopping season that we'll get the next Ubisoft Forward. So that seems to be it for right now. There was no Rayman, as Lami Tudwig said in the chat. There was no Mario Rabbids 2. No Nintendo Association. Phil Spencer from Xbox was the only console representative to show off the capabilities of what their product can do with these games. But Assassin's Creed Valhalla looks a little bit more interesting than I previously gave it credit for. Far Cry 6, that opening cinematic looked intriguing. I hope that whatever they do with the gameplay is a little bit more varied and new and fresh than some of the rinse, wash, repeat graphic update that they've been doing since 3. And Hyperspace, I don't know, I'll try it out if it's reasonably priced, but preferably free down the line. Watch Dogs Legion, I don't know. It's looking like I'm not getting enough info for me as a buyer to make a decision just yet. But, we'll see. We'll see. But thank you for joining us. I was a little bit quieter than I expected to be, but I got kind of really caught up in watching the nuances of all of this. Thank you again for watching. If you are enjoying our products, we continue. Oh, damn, what am I saying? Man, it's just a long weekend. Let me restart that if you don't mind. Thank you for watching. We appreciate all the support. Be sure to subscribe to A Cast of the Past on Twitch, on YouTube, on Twitter. Keep in touch with us, and we will keep in touch with you with all of our great programming. We've got weekly episodes of the podcast, the latest one of which dropped today, where Josh and I sat down and we discussed 20 hidden gems from gaming history that every gamer should play. That list is up on our YouTube right now, as well as on our podcast feeds. We're on iTunes, we're on Stitcher, we're on Spotify, we're on Deezer, we're on CastBox, we're on iHeartRadio. We are on Audio Boom, our home sweet home, the best podcasting host on the planet, and we have tons of history lessons on some of your favorite games, full of really good conversations about titles such as Rayman Legends, a Ubisoft game for you right there. And keep on tuned to our YouTube channel and our Twitch. Josh and I will be continuing our My Favorite Game series. Josh will have some installments of Celeste hitting the YouTube, and I will be playing more Banjo-Kazooie in the next day or so. So, until next time, we'll see you in the future.